Hello. Hello, what's up? My name is Ethan and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know me, I really like music. I like vibing to music. I like discovering new music. I just feel like my own music taste is another way for me to express myself. I feel like the last few years I've cultivated and developed my own taste for music. And honestly, I just really feel confident about my music taste right now. And so today I thought it would be cool to show you guys 20 of my 40 Spotify playlists. The link to my Spotify is down below if you guys dig my music, if you guys are interested. But before we get started, this video is sponsored by Huntington Learning Center. Huntington Learning Center provides both tutoring and test preparation for students K through 12, both in an online and in-person environment. Being a senior now in high school, focusing on applying to different colleges and scholarships, the SATs, if you don't know, is a standardized test that plays a pretty vital role in this whole process. And my SAT scores personally weren't exactly the best at first. I remember taking the test for the first time. I struggled with math. Math has always been a very weak subject of mine ever since I was a kid, and also comprehension. I remembered I didn't even finish the test when I first took the SATs, and so for about 4 months I enrolled to Huntington Learning Center to potentially improve my SAT scores. And honestly, through their program I definitely saw myself achieve many things that months before taking the SATs initially I would have never thought I would be able to do. What I love about Huntington is that you sort of share this bond with the people that you work with. I initially felt very embarrassed and ashamed of my struggles and my academic weaknesses and even my SAT scores entering into this institution. However, interacting one-on-one with the tutors at Huntington made me realize later that, yo, it's okay to be open and transparent about your struggles, and that through hard work, you can achieve whatever you define as success. And from my experience, my tutors never really saw a particular score as successful, whether that be a 1600 or a 1200 on the SATs. Ultimately, not only did they help me improve my SAT scores for applications, they taught me a lot of things that I could use in high school or in college in the future. So if you ever need tutoring, academically, or just preparation for standardized tests like the SAT, the ACT, or the ASVAB, Huntington is the way to go. Their links are down below in the description. I highly recommend checking them out. If you live in Colorado, this is the school I enrolled at. Thank you as well to Tita Lenny de Castro, who manages the Huntington Learning Center in my area. Alright, let's get started. The first playlist that I have is Station 11, the soundtrack cassette. This was actually for an English project that I did back in junior year, I believe. We were reading this book called Station 11, and after we read a book, we usually have like an English project to sort of demonstrate our knowledge about the book. And what I love about 11th grade honors English is that my teacher, we're gonna call her Mrs. C. Hi, Mrs. C. I love her so much because, like, instead of us having to demonstrate our knowledge by writing a paper about the book, she actually gave us a list of creative things that we could do. And one of the things was create sort of a cassette or a playlist that kind of represented the book as a whole. It was like an 8-song playlist that we had to create, and a lot of us did it because, I mean, it was pretty easy. If you haven't read Station 11, me neither. No, I'm just joking. Basically, Station 11 talks about like this world pandemic, right? However, I feel like the vibe and the setting is more so like apocalyptic. If I remember correctly, like civilization was just screwed up in that book. I remembered I wanted to be different from the many people who chose this choice for our English project. And so like I included some like diversity, I guess, like different songs in different languages. There's one Tagalog song, which is Ala Ala by Sleep Alley. Another song here is a Russian song. I feel like it's pretty well known on TikTok. And another good one is Drew Barrymore by SZA. I remember that song. I think it represented a character in that book. But yeah, I mean, I still have it. I don't really listen to it that much, but I mean, it has 5 likes. So the next playlist I have is Classic. This playlist is just classic original Filipino music. I made this playlist for my parents originally, kind of like, you know, when we're on a road trip, instead of us like turning on the radio, we usually play this playlist. My mom is really into Freddie Aguilar and Sampaguita, so there's a lot of, you know, that type of music in here. Even if you're not Filipino but you're looking to discovering new music, I highly recommend this playlist. I mean, it's a good playlist if you want to dance. One of my favorite songs here is Parico by the Eraserheads. The next playlist I have is called El Muchacho de los Ojos Tristes, which means the boy with the sad eyes. Quite honestly, I haven't really listened to this playlist in a while, but kind of like the title, this is just good songs to cry to. And if you're, you know, having a bad day, you could just put on this playlist and you can just cry it out, because it always just feels good to cry it out, you know? I don't know, this is just a weird thought, how we play music, especially like when we feel different emotions, you know? Some of us have a playlist designated for those times when we cry, or playlists where we feel euphoric, you know? I don't know, I just feel like music just makes the experience better, you feel? Like being a video creator personally, I feel like music definitely enhances, for example, a video that is being created. I don't know, just food for thought. But yeah, El Muchacho de los Ojos Tristes is just a good playlist to cry to if you're ever feeling sad. Some of these songs I definitely cried to in the past. For example, Still Don't Know My Name by Labyrinth. Also In My Head by Bedroom. I'm kind of happy that that song is getting well known on TikTok now with this audio. Remember, I always love you. I don't know, you could also consider this playlist as like a relaxing type of playlist. There's a lot of just slow songs to this playlist. In the very end, there are two songs that really make me reminisce on my childhood every time I listen to them. Both Ugly by 21 and Don't Cry. Bro, I cry every time when I listen to these songs. It's that bad. The next one is one of my favorite playlists of all time. It's called NyQuil. Nighttime relaxing, stress relieving R&B simp slow aesthetic lullaby so that you can rest playlist. You see what I did there? Anyway, so before I created all these playlists, I used to have like different dump playlists. That's what I used to call them. I would put all the songs that I would discover that I really liked into this playlist. And you know, back then I didn't have Spotify Premium, and so I would just let it shuffle and I would just listen to all this music that way. However, last year I just decided to like separate all of my songs into different categories, into different designated themes or feelings. I really wanted a playlist that I could relax to, you know, something to put in the background, and maybe you're getting ready for bed, you're lighting a candle, and you're just in that mood of relaxation, you know? This playlist is that playlist. And I forgot to mention that a lot of my playlists here on Spotify are quite diverse in my opinion. I really like discovering new music, not just American music, but like music all over the world, different genres, different languages. Like in this playlist we have Miguel, we have Daniel Caesar, but we also have Taeyang and Twice. There's classical music, but there's also R&B. There's English music, there's Filipino music, there's Hawaiian music, and I don't know, I really like that. One of my favorite songs of this playlist is Forever Young. It's the first song of this playlist. I don't know, that song just really relaxes me. Another good song is called Kung Maibabalik Ko Lang, a classic. That's such a classic. Yeah, that's NyQuil. The next one is called Coming From the West Side. I feel like in some of my playlists, you will kind of see the different phases I went through in high school. In 10th grade, I went through a sort of 90s West Coast phase. I was just really fascinated by SoCal in the 90s, mainly because my parents met there. And so the songs of these playlists is just like 90s rap, West Side type vibe. Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Tupac, you know, that type of music. A lot of these songs my dad kind of introduced me to, and even just my music taste in general, a lot of the influence came from my dad, because growing up, you know, he had a really diverse music taste like me. And yeah, so thanks, Dad. The next playlist is called Punch. I remembered I was going to name this playlist, I think, Head Bops. Honestly, I don't know if there's like a particular genre name for this type of music, but to kind of just give you guys an idea of who's in this playlist, we have Tame Impala, The Strokes. If you're Filipino, Unique Salonga. If you're not, you should definitely check them out. Mystery Jets, Arctic Monkeys, Cage the Elephant, you know, like that type of music. This is a great playlist to dance to. This is also a great playlist to surprisingly run to. I just like these fast-paced songs to work out to, or to I don't know, just vibe to, I guess. One of my favorites of this playlist is called Me and Michael by MGMT, and also there's one Rich Brian song called Love in My Pocket in this playlist. And yeah, there's just a lot of Tame Impala songs here. So the next one is called Pan con Leche. The description says, I'm staying here at the most expensive restaurant in DC almost, enjoying my meal. So in this playlist, I'd say the majority of the songs are like bossa nova and vintage French and Spanish music. I kind of did this thing last year where every time we would eat, you know, dinner as a family or just make breakfast early in the morning, having this like music in the background kind of makes you just feel more excited to eat, and sometimes even bougie. I really dig bossa nova. I don't know, it's just kind of refreshing almost to listen to it. Like many of the playlists already, this playlist is pretty diverse. Not only is there like Portuguese music and Spanish music, but there's also French, and also there's a lot of kundiman here. Kundiman is kind of like really vintage Filipino music, kind of in the 50s and 40s. So yeah, I'd consider this as like a morning or even just a late night playlist to drink some apple cider to, you know? I was about to say something else, but We're sponsored today. So the next one is Oxygen in Portuguese. I don't want to butcher the pronunciation. The description I put is grass fields, coastal wind blowing through your hair, picnics, dancing, hill climbing, sadness, joy, let me feel free. If you were to ask me growing up, like, what is your version of paradise? I would like describe my paradise, or one version of my paradise, as like, I imagine myself in a grass field, right? And it's the perfect temperature. You just feel the wind and breeze flowing through your hair, enough for you to just, you know, feel good about yourself. And you're just enjoying life, you know, not worried about anything. Maybe you're having a picnic, maybe you're walking by a stream. It's basically paradise, you know? So yeah, I feel like the songs in this playlist sort of embody that representation I have of a paradise. I'd say too, this is a relaxing type of playlist, you know, slow jams almost. Again, it's pretty diverse. We have California, the acoustic version by Rich Brian, Nicki, and Warren Hugh. But we also have Dancing Queen by Alva. I also kind of think of this playlist as a summer type of playlist. I'm telling you, I highly recommend this playlist if you're, you know, just outside chilling and you need some music to relax to. Oxygen is it. The next one is called Runaway. Now, this playlist kind of shows another one of those phases I went through in high school. My parents are probably gonna watch this, and so I just want to say, no, I did not want to run away. You know, I kind of just really was fascinated by that main character vibe, you know, like driving around downtown or something. And so I feel like this playlist just embodied that phase I went through, you know. And also I feel like this playlist is good if you're going out on a run. Again, very much fast-paced songs. The description even says bangers to run away to without having an asthma attack. And another really good one is called Nerves by DPR Ian. Just a lot of DPR Ian songs belong in this playlist. Wow, it just got dark, bro. The next one is called Autumnal Equinox. I created this playlist back in autumn of 2021. These are just songs that either I fell in love with during the fall, you know, September or August, going back into school, or just songs that remind me of the fall in general. I had to include Kyoto by Phoebe Bridgers. That was just hands down a classic one. Another really good one that my friend introduced me to is called Estaba Solo by Los Temerarios. And also the first song of this playlist is called Always Rising by Nicki, Rich Brian, and Warren Hugh. That's a really good one. That was honestly my favorite back in like September, October during that time. It's really good autumn bops here. I'd say this playlist is perfect if you're like thrifting, or if you're pumpkin picking, or if you're riding your bike outside, you know, in the cold autumn weather. Alright, the next playlist is called San Diego. So looking back, one of my happiest, fondest memories of when I was a kid was going to California with my family one summer. I think I was like 7 or 8 or 9. There was just this one time where it was like the afternoon, like around this time, you know, the sun is about to go down, but it's not, kind of like, you know, late afternoon, and we were driving by like a coast, right? And I remember like I looked to the right of me and I just saw like the beach and like the waves and the ocean, and it was really exciting for me. I don't know, I was just like, wow, like that's the beach, like what? That memory just makes me feel like happy and excited in a way. And so that's why I named this playlist San Diego, because these songs kind of like, to me, very exciting, upbeat, and really good pop songs that you wouldn't necessarily hear on the radio. There's a lot of good summer bops in here. For example, Angel by Shaggy and Sugar Sugar by Baby Bash. Also Lost by Cali Lifestyle. Check out Cali Lifestyle, bro. Like, it's... Turn it up!